Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a philosopher, had once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This has also been the tenet on Modi government's foreign policy doctrine. The last successful manifestation of this principle was our handling of the military conflict with Pakistan. And today, it is reflecting in the dramatic U-turn made by Canada. For the first time since the entire Niger controversy took center stage, the country has confessed that Khalistanis are indeed extremists. Just last year, the then Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was using every platform, every opportunity to accuse India of interference and being involved in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Such was the sympathy with the radical element that exactly 1 year ago, on the 19th of June 2024, Canadian Parliament observed a moment of silence to mark the 1-year anniversary of Nijjar's death. 365 days later, Canada has finally opened its eyes to the truth on Khalistan. It has finally admitted what India has all along maintained, that Canada has become a safe haven for Khalistani elements targeting India. Canada's top intelligence agency, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, has officially confirmed that Khalistani extremists are using Canadian soil as a base to promote, fundraise and plan violent activities, primarily targeting India. This admission is in stark contrast to Trudeau's long-stated stance that Canada is the victim and India the perpetrator. The release of this intel report coincides with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Canada visit. Although Prime Minister merely spent 23 hours in the country, the optics and acoustics of the visit were a big departure from last year. BJP is crediting India's deft diplomacy for the sensational turnaround. But the opposition, as always, in denial, despite the damning dossier from Canada itself. Listen in.
Some politicians, unfortunately, think that by fostering terrorists on their soil, they can, in some ways, prevail over India, pressure India. And those countries are finding out, like Pakistan has recently, that does not work with India. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji,
भारत के प्रधानमंत्री जी कल ही तो मिले हैं वहां के प्रधानमंत्री जी से, अभी 48 घंटे भी नहीं हुए। उन्हें स्पष्ट रूप से कनाडा से कहना चाहिए कि भारत के हितों की रक्षा करें। गले मिलने से ही सब कुछ नहीं होता, दृढ़ता से देश के लिए कहना भी पड़ता है।
For the skeptics, here is a detailed breakdown of how things have changed for the better. In October last year, Justin Trudeau was blatantly accusing Indian government of being involved in the killing of Nijjar. Now, the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has said he needs to be careful while commenting on the issue. Earlier, Canadian Foreign Minister was speaking of expelling Indian diplomats, citing evidence that they had against them. Now the two countries are mulling steps for return of high commissioners to both capitals. While Justin Trudeau was accusing India of supporting criminal activities in Canada, CSIS intel report says Canadian soil is used to plan activities of violence against India. In fact, the very same agency's last report has zero mention of Khalistanis, but India's persistent efforts have prompted Canadians to finally stop being ostriches and burying their heads in the sand about the actual threats posed by Khalistanis.
Over the course of the summer, I was apprised by my intelligence services that there was credible intelligence that agents of the government of India were involved in the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
We have had a discussion the Prime Minister and I about the importance of having the law enforcement to law enforcement dialogue, which is not just dialogue, cooperation directly, the importance of addressing transnational repression. Obviously, there is a judicial process that's underway, and I need to be careful about further commentary.
In fact, following Marcus Aurelius' philosophy has also meant that India may not be overt in its diplomacy, but nuanced tact has delivered tangible results. We saw how in Cyprus, Prime Minister Modi took a deliberate call to accompany Cypriot president to the area under Turkish occupation, almost like POK, in order to send a message to Pakistan backer Turkey. We saw how all party delegations managed to change the stance of countries like Colombia, Switzerland and Germany on Pakistan-backed terror, and yet the Congress party calls NDA's foreign policy a complete fiasco. So ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to the legitimate question. With Canada becoming the latest country to accept Modi doctrine, will Congress be next? That's the Motorola legitimate question we're asking on the News Hour tonight.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, Tushar Gupta, political analyst, Sushant Sareen, senior fellow at the ORF and strategic expert. Also joining the debate, Vivek Srivastav, political analyst, Faizan Kidwai, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. But my first question goes to Ashwini Kumar Mishra, leader of the Congress Party. And Ashwini Kumar Mishra, I want to ask you, should the Congress Party be today a little humble, with a little humility, on a day that you're so happy because it is Rahul Gandhi's birthday?
Indeed, I am.
You are happy?
Yeah.
Would
we
you
are more happier. We are more happier. 55 years ago, something very good has happened for us.
Okay, but would you want to compliment the BJP and through Mr. Shehzad Poonawala, the Prime Minister, for his deft handling of diplomacy with Canada?
Before I take your question, I would like to extend my wishes to Shri Rahul Gandhi ji.
To Shehzad.
Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, leader of opposition, Jan Nayak, social justice ke puroda. Happy birthday, sir. Coming back to your question, our diplomacy, you talked about our diplomacy. Our diplomacy has come from Papa War Rukwadi to issuing a warning to Iranian students that please vacate, use your own resources and vacate, go wherever you can. That is where our foreign policy, that is where our diplomacy stands. And moreover, Iran is having war with Israel. Israel is the dearest friend of Modi ji. We abstain from voting for ceasefire. So I think it should be very easy for Modi ji to again do same thing. Papa, war rukwado again, and let those students come out. In foreign diplomacy, when we hear the Trump, yesterday you heard what our foreign secretary said, and right after that what Mr. Trump said. He again said that I love Pakistan, I am the reason why this whole ceasefire happened. And do you still think that's a foreign diplomacy? Coming back to your question about CSIS.
If you were taking an exam, university,
let me objectively
school exam, anywhere, teacher fail kar deti aapko because you are answering every question in the world except the question that I asked.
You spoke about doctrine, Modi's doctrine. So I was just explaining what Modi's doctrine has been in past for some time. And now let me coming back to
I was talking in the context
coming
of
back
Canada.
to Canada issue. Let me come back to this. So yes, CSIS categorically said that few Khalistanis are the one who is using Canadian soil to operate against India. At the same time, they also said that India is also using a proxy agents. India is using a lot of interference and dismantling or destabilizing Canadian soil. So I don't see that as an success for diplomacy because they are telling boss, I agree that might be some problem, but that's our internal matter.
For you
stay away from it.
Trudeau is a poster boy. For you,
Asim
Munir will be a poster boy. You will never believe Vikram Misri, Foreign Secretary of India, the DGMO, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. You will never believe them.
I want to be Prime Minister.
Oh, 1 minute now. Shehzad Poonawalla, is this misplaced trust in foreign hands right now, not with anything that the Indians have to say?
First of all, let me join my good friend Ashwini ji in wishing Rahul ji, and I hope and pray that he has a long life and he serves Ma Bharati as leader of opposition for the next 50 years. So I want to join you in that. Secondly, now coming back to the topic, new doctrine. Let me tell you what the new doctrine is. The new doctrine is that Canada, which even after 1985 Kanishka bombing, and we have Mr. Sushant Sareen here, did not even adhere or acknowledge our demands for extradition of those Khalistanis who actually did it, today is acknowledging, yes, Khalistanis are the biggest national security threat to them. They have come to that. This is the change in the position that has taken place. Not just this. You remember how Congress party said Maldives mein to kabad kar diya? I remember some panelists who are on the debate, they were saying that. Maldives is now saying that India is the closest ally.
Okay.
Then, sir, I've not interrupted you, Ashwini ji. Qatar, 8 Indians ko aapne wahin par chhod diya. This was statement of one of the panelists who is now putting ear in peace in his ear. Then Modi got them back from the capital punishment, but no acknowledgement. Saudi has stopped our work visa. This fake news was also spread. Then when Sri Lanka elections took place, Modi ji ne galat daaw kar diya tha. JVP party aa chuki hai. This person will go and sit with China. The first country that Mr. Dissanayake visited after he got elected was India, but that also is not correct. Then Ukraine, Russia. Please vote for Ukraine. Vote against Russia. What are you doing? You don't have any morality. And then Manmohan Singh also acknowledged that our policy on Ukraine, Russia was right. Today we got not only the S-400 system, but also oil. And by the way, whatever is happening in Iran, had we not diversified our oil imports, you can imagine what would have happened. Then we have got 1,000 plus to 10,000 students we are getting back from Iran. Even then they are saying that Iran mein humne logon ko apne haal pe chhod diya hai. But I want to ask them, what is their position? Their position is that only and only rely on lies. Now, after this Trump issue, they are saying that we believe Trump. Even after Prime Minister's statement, even after DGMO, MEA statement has come. I want to ask them, Trump said it's a 1,000-year war. Do you believe only half a statement or full statement? Then Trump has also said that, look, the same Modi, he has said before his election that when I told Modi, I will deal with this country, Modi said that no, I will deal with them. That time they won't believe. And Modi ji in front of Trump in 2019, when Trump said that I will intervene in Jammu Kashmir, said no need for third party intervention, and after that we have removed Article 370. But that is also to be forgotten. I just have one question, sir. You can hate Modi, you can hate BJP, but why do Rajniti on Videsh Niti? Please tell me now, sir, that whatever your position on Maldives was it right or wrong?
Kumar, don't you see this as an improvement after the CSIS, as an improvement in the complete breakdown between 2018 and today?
Navika ji, if CSIS first of all has categorically told that few, no, he hasn't told biggest threat and everyone
is this
because
and not this?
Whatever the amount is. Same time, they also stated that this is India is the one who is interfering in their internal matters, and they also said that India is using proxy agents to create a nuisance on Canadian soil. So, at least as a common human with a common average intelligence, I am not.
You're a Congress leader. You're a Congress leader. You're not a common human. But let me get it. 1 minute. Shehzad, I'll come to you, but I want to get an unbiased.
I have 2 chances. One line. Now, see the contradiction in this show. Once he says that the foreign policy is weak, now he is saying our foreign policy is so strong that we are intervening in other countries through proxies. And sir, I did not interrupt, sir. She has given me limited. Ashwini ji, please. Ashwini, please.
You don't misquote me.
But let me finish.
No, you don't misquote me.
Ashwini, I have not interrupted you. But please don't interrupt me. Ashwini, I request you.
Okay, all right, you complete your point. I have to get in the other panelists, please. 1 minute.
Achha, by the way, Ashwini, please, I have not interrupted you.
All right, you know, everybody has recorded. Everybody has recorded your objection.
I know you're lying.
You know, gentlemen, this is not the way we can do the debate.
Exactly, 20 seconds. G7 में वैसे invite नहीं आने वाला था. Yesterday, Jairam Ramesh has done digital fraud. I call him Pinocchio of politics. He has shown a press release of 25th of January, showing it as a press note of yesterday. Then they have said that Saudi Arabia work visa was cancelled. What happened about that lie? And you have said that Alok Sharma has tweeted a tweet which was not posted by ANI. This is the level of digital fraud they do even on foreign policy.
So let me ask Sushant Sareen. Sushant Sareen, The CSIS report, is this a step forward? Because last year's report had no mention of the word Khalistani itself. The statements that have gone on ad nauseum about who called the ceasefire, Papa Trump called it, or we called it. Congress has been going on and on and on about it, despite so many statements by India. What is it that the opposition is trying to prove? Are they trying to prove that they believe Pakistan or Canada or Iran or Turkey more than they believe their own country, their own official?
I think they're just being disingenuous, and I think they are, as the Hindi phrase goes, कि कुछ भी होगा तो उसमें से कीड़े निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे, वो हो या ना हो. But I think, Navika, there is, on the Canada issue, I think this report, one, reflects reality. And in fact, if Mr. Mishra had read the report carefully, he would realize that the report says that, look, the Khalistanis, there is a bunch among the Khalistanis. One, they divide them in two categories. One are, just the guy who are expending a lot of hot air. And then there is the other element among the Khalistanis who are involved in all kinds of nefarious activity, including terrorism, planning attacks against India, and all kinds of other things. And the report also says that some amount of this political interference, which they're accusing India of, is a direct function of what these Khalistanis are trying to do. And that is why they call it a national security threat for Canada. Now, even in 2018, if I'm mistaken not, the CSIS had come out with a report in which they had pointed out to Khalistani activities inside Canada. But then, because of the Khalistani pressure, they had to excise those elements or those parts of the report from the main report which was published. This time around, we have seen that there is now a mature adult in the room in Canada, in Mr. Carney. India and Canada can have problems like many other countries, even friendly countries have problems with each other. But the way to handle those issues and some very sensitive issues between countries is not by the kind of puerile behavior that Trudeau displayed. I think if there is a problem, both countries have mature leaderships, they can talk to each other, which is exactly what has started happening. And what happened during Mr. Modi's visit to the G7 summit did not start from that. It has been a work in progress over a few months now, where at the level of officials, at the level of the security agencies, there is a dialogue going on, there is a lot of cooperation taking place, and a serious effort is underway to put this relationship back on the rails, simply because, Navika, and this is important, Canada is not a hostile country. Okay, it is a friendly country. There are things happening in Canada which are extremely harmful to India, and we are now apprising them. We have apprised them in the past, but now they're sensitive to our concerns. And both countries have a lot of strategic and economic interests with each other. So just because of a few of these Khalistani scum who are involved in narcotics trafficking, who are involved in gun running, who are involved in transnational crimes, who are involved in immigration rackets. Incidentally, Navika, many of those activities are also impacting on Canada's relationship with the United States. In fact, the tariff that started being imposed by the US on Canada is in part because of the kind of narcotic smuggling being done by these Khalistani scumbags and thugs from Canada into the United States. And you have already seen a lot of activity inside Canada against these criminal gangs who, along with the Pakistanis, have been involved in terrorist inside India. So I think that is a plus for India. Now, if the Congress party still wants to crib about it, I can't stop them. It's their right. It's a free country.
Which is the problem. Are we ostriches, Faizan Kidwai? Are we going to be ostriches? Are we going to start condemning things for the sake of it because we have some domestic, political compulsions? I want to ask you, isn't this a movement forward? In fact, why is everybody silent about the Congress Kerala tweet which showed Pakistan having Jammu and Kashmir as its own part? And, then they just go and delete it from their Twitter handle. Not one person will raise a question about it. But everybody has a question about what's happening with Trump, who called for the ceasefire. Would you rather believe Asim Munir? Would you rather believe Trump? Or would you believe your own defense personnel, your own Ministry of External Affairs? I just don't get it. We live in complex times. You look at the kind of situation that exists between Ukraine and Russia. You look at the Iran-Israel conflagration. You look at US's standoff with various countries. I want to ask you, should you not be happy that there is some deft maneuvering that is happening by India not to pull the entire country down by partaking in some, wars, but rather handling the situation deftly?
Good evening, Navika. This question has been constantly been thrown at the opposition that who would you trust, Trump or would you trust your own Prime Minister? See, my Prime Minister, unfortunately, has a history of distorting facts and lying through his teeth. He has done this earlier also. He's the one who denied that there has been a Chinese incursion, but later on in May 2020.
What are your views about Trump? I would like to know. More consistent and credible.
Don't do this, Navika. Navika, don't do this. I am not talking
since you're
Trump.
Comparing the two, since you're comparing the two, please compare Trump also.
Navika, I have nothing to do with Trump. What Trump is doing, it's none of my business. I would want to trust my Prime Minister. Unfortunately, my Prime Minister is not giving me good enough reasons to trust him. He's the same man who said that I instructed the Air Force people to hide behind the clouds and because that will save them from the radar. I mean, no sensible expert would even follow what the kind of stupid remarks that the Honorable Prime Minister was making. And there have been, like he's the one who clicked pictures before the digital cameras were there, before the email came for public use, he even sent an email. So my Prime Minister, unfortunately, is used to making such puerile, such unsubstantiated claims. So he has lost his credibility because of the way he has been speaking. No. See, Navika, unfortunately, under Mr. Narendra Modi, diplomacy of India has become a farce which is being created by his propaganda machinery. And we are not too happy about it. Forget about being a Vishwaguru. India has failed on multiple counts. As you were talking about Canada, see, Navika, India has asked for extradition of 20 people, but what Canada says that there are only some extremists. And there's a difference between real and perceived extremists. That means that Canada is not going to agree to every individual that India calls an extremist. Apart from that, the Canada spy agency has said that India is one of the main perpetrators of foreign interference and espionage. It has put India in the same league as Pakistan. The latest report says that India was involved in the killing of Hardeep Singh Najjar. What has Modi done? Now you just see what the kind of interaction Trump is having with Asim Munir. It's after a good 2 decades that somebody from Pakistan, that too from an army, is meeting the president, and they are having a meeting behind closed doors. Trump says I love
Faizan Kidwai, would you want India to open up its air bases for US to use it as their backyard? Would you want that? That's exactly how Pakistan gets used, but they're still impressed with Asim Munir than with their own country or their own Prime Minister. Shehzad, please respond.
Mr. Kidwai, I've heard you out patiently. Mr. Kidwai, I've heard you out patiently, and I hope Ashwini won't interrupt me when I'm responding to you. Look, sir, you don't trust Prime Minister Modi. Of course you shouldn't. The people of India trust him. That's enough for us. But having said that, surgical strike was announced by DGMO. Did you trust them? You said it was Khoon ki dalali. Balakot airstrike was announced by the Air Force. Sir, let me finish what I have to say. Sir, Mr. Kidwai, you spoke.
Well,
you said a lot of things.
Your alliance did. Your alliance.
See, the problem is that I hear what they say, I note it down, but they keep interrupting me when I'm responding. You can surely be patient and write it down. Pulwama was done for votes, was said by Ram Gopal Yadav, even though it was clearly said that our forces were the ones who were at the receiving end. But you tried to give a picture that our forces and the Indian government did it. It has been said by Ram Gopal Yadav. Please check it and let me complete, sir. You can't keep interrupting me every 10 seconds. Secondly, sir, Najjar is the same person that you are now crying tears for, who said that
I'm not, again, whenever you
Indira
say something
Gandhi's
wrong, factually
death
incorrect,
and killing
I have
was
to reject
justified.
Shahzad.
Navika, this has to stop, ma'am. I do not interrupt them.
Navika, he
there is a
cannot make
decorum to the debate,
wrong
otherwise
claims.
the people don't understand.
He's putting
when the
wrong
BJP
allegations on me.
Navika,
But you are
request for
attributing
indulgence.
to him that
they
are crying
He
for
has
nature.
attributed to PM. I did not interrupt. He attributed to PM. I kept my peace. No, ma'am. There has to be, please.
So do not attribute.
No, please, Navika,
stuff.
don't make it so difficult. Please let me complete. Please let me complete.
Okay, 1 minute now, Ashwini. I think he's responding to Faizan. Allow him to do so.
Navika, Munir going to Trump is an indication that Trump has no leverage on us. He has all leverage on Pakistan. It is, in fact, you're saying a point in my favor. Because what was the conversation? Trump said that Canada के बाद can you come to United States? If we were beholden to United States और हम उनके दबाव और प्रभाव में रहते तो चले जाते ना पहली फ्लाइट लेकर, जैसे कि 1971 में 93,000 prisoner of war था, हमारे पास 15,000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर था, फिर भी इंदिरा गांधी पे क्या मजबूरी थी कि उन्होंने उस समय पीओके नहीं लिया? 1974 में पाकिस्तान को न्यूक टैक क्यों ऑफर किया? 1985 में रोनाल्ड रेगन का डिक्टेट क्यों एक्सेप्ट किया राजीव गांधी ने? और 1994 में सुशांत सरीन विल टेल यू दैट वी डिड नॉट कंडक्ट द न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट अंडर हुज प्रेशर, एंड देन वाजपेयी केम एंड देन वी डिड द न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट. दिस इज कॉल्ड प्रभाव, एंड वी डोंट हैव एनी प्रभाव ऑफ एनी कंट्री. वी आर इंडिपेंडेंट. बट लास्ट 10 सेकंड्स नाविका जी, वो तो केरला कांग्रेस का ट्वीट नहीं था, मेन कांग्रेस का ट्वीट था जिसमें पीओके पाकिस्तान का दिखा दिया, पर एक बयान हाथ में आया है.
हमारी विदेश नीति का एक और कीर्तिमान है जिसका मैंने जिक्र किया था अभी थोड़ी देर पहले. कनाडा जैसा देश हमें G7 का इनवाइट नहीं भेजता है.
ये कनाडा जैसा देश हमें G7 का इनवाइट नहीं भेज रहा था ना? इसके लिए एक भी बार माफी मांगी क्या? और साइप्रस इनके लिए छोटा देश. लास्ट मुझे लगता है साइप्रस के ऊपर इन्होंने कहा प्लीज डोंट इंटरप्ट. सर प्लीज डोंट इंटरप्ट. I request you don't interrupt.
No. But the point is you have not apologized. You have spread fake news.
Navika, just 10 seconds. Look at the hypocrisy, and Sushant is here. He'll point out the hypocrisy. They say कि इजराइल वाले पे आपने वोट नहीं किया, गाजा में जो हो रहा है, पैलेस्टाइन में जो हो रहा है. वैसे तो Turkey has taken over the territory of Cyprus in 1974, which we have taken a stand on that time. Today, when Prime Minister went to Cyprus, they were criticizing. भाई साहब क्यों? क्योंकि टर्की इज अ मुस्लिम कंट्री. मतलब वोट बैंक देखकर अब तय करेंगे कि कितना आक्रोश करना है. ये गजब.
How many votes are going to come from Turkey to them? I don't know. But Vivek Srivastava, my question to you is simply this: is it a full-time occupation of the opposition to run down their own country and believe everything that's happening across the world? Today, when we see a step forward in the movement in our relations with Canada, would you admit it? Would you admit that Congress party putting out a map of Pakistan which has Jammu and Kashmir in it is a wrong thing to do? Can we any more distinguish between the rights and the wrongs, or are we only going to take pot shots at Modi, and that is the opposition doctrine that they continue to follow regardless of whatever happens?
You are right. We will continue to take pot shots at Modi because we feel he has failed. His foreign policy has failed. The decisions that the foreign minister is taking are not working. Pakistan is emerging out in a very strong way. The world is recognizing it. You don't have a stand. ना आप इजराइल के साथ हैं, ना आप ईरान के साथ हैं. आप क्या कर रहे हैं? आप UN में you abstain from voting for ceasefire in Gaza. And my friend talked of Cyprus. Cyprus में सबसे ज्यादा पैसे पार्क होते हैं स्विस बैंकों के बराबरी के. दैट इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ साइप्रस. और मैं अडानी साहब के रिश्तेदारों के नाम जो साइप्रस के नेशनल्स है गिनवा दूंगा तो यहाँ कंट्रोवर्सी हो जाएगी अभी, है ना? और आप सुनिए, नोबडी, वी नेवर बैटेड लेफ्ट एज अ लेफ्टिस्ट. वी नेवर, आप सुनिए, नहीं, एज अ लेफ्टिस्ट आई नेवर बैटेड फॉर अमेरिका. लेकिन आज डिप्रेशन का माहौल है साहब. पाकिस्तान में सेलिब्रेशन है. हमारे बीजेपी वाले कह रहे हैं कि हलाल का गोश्त नहीं खिलाया. जो फील्ड मार्शल गए पाकिस्तान के, ये इस पे डिबेट कर रहे हैं.
I don't even understand what you're saying. Where did halal ka gosht come in the middle of a foreign affairs debate, yaar?
In the social media, when the BJP, see, Pakistani says we are willing to supply nukes to Iran if need be. They have said it very openly. Israel is clearly saying after Iran, the next target is going to be Pakistan. उन्होंने एक स्टैंड लिया, आपने लिया. आप सोशल मीडिया पे जाके कह रहे हैं साहब डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने खाना खिलाया
To all of this, please explain to me. Please explain to me halal ka gosht connection to all of these questions that you are raising. Can you please explain to me? Because पुराने जमाने में लैंडलाइन होती थी, क्रॉस कनेक्शन होता था. Are you on a cross connection on some other debate?
हाँ. मैडम, आप इसको समझिए इंटेलेक्चुअल बैंक्रप्सी ऑफ द बीजेपी.
Oh God.
No words कि why is a field marshal, an army head being invited by the American president whom I don't like. तो उसको काउंटर करने के लिए कह रहे हैं साहब जो खाना भी खिलाया मुनीर को वो हलाल था ही नहीं. ये इनकी लॉजिक है. और ये सोशल मीडिया पे न्यूज़ बन रहा है.
I just don't get it. I give up Sushant Sareen. Coming to you, Tushar Gupta, but Sushant Sareen, since you are laughing, I want to figure out from you, had you understood what he's trying to say? मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा. I can't understand.
Navika, I've never understood anything that the communists have ever said because they are so incoherent in whatever they say. And Vivek is just going ballistic. We were in an earlier debate also, and my point is that I've never seen the communists as butthurt as they are over. They think that an invitation to a military guy from the US president is the epitome of diplomacy. It is not.
Yes.
I think Vivek continues to ask.
It is a failure of Modi.
Standing here, Vivek, I told you earlier also.
It is the failure of Modi. हजारों सलूट्स के बाद भी ट्रंप साहब ने आपकी सुनी नहीं. पॉइंट ये है.
अच्छा बोल दिया ना.
पॉइंट ये है सर, हम अमेरिका के साथ नहीं है. मोदी साहब थे और भगाए गए.
अच्छा ठीक, वो भगाए गए. ठीक है,
गले लगाया पाकिस्तान को. ये सच्चाई है आज की सच्चाई है. उस लंच की सच्चाई है.
दुखी है आपको. मेरे को ये नहीं समझ आ रहा. खुश है दुखी है. So but they think that the epitome good diplomacy is the nation is called by the US
that India has to see this day
and is going to be used
because of such
like
policies.
A sanitary napkin to
Pakistan is getting more powerful is the analysis of the communists. Then I rest my case that they've even talking about the word intellectualism should be banned for the communists. And Tushar Gupta, can you make sense of what Mr. Vivek Srivastava has said tonight? Normally, I understand what he's saying, and then I criticize it. Today, it has been overhead transmission. I cannot understand what he's saying. What is the comparison he's drawing? If you can make sense of it, please help my viewers. Please help my viewers understand what Vivek Srivastava is saying.
Navika, there's a saying on social media that a good communist is the one that shuts up. So that's about it. A good communist is one that keeps quiet. So I hope Vivek Srivastava can be a good communist. However, moving on from the frivolous stuff, the newly Christian Congress spokesperson, whose birthday, he's celebrating the birthday of Rahul Gandhi today, he should remember that the grandmother of Rahul Gandhi was assassinated because she led a pushback against Khalistani extremism on the Indian soil. Congress today, 40 years later, doesn't even acknowledge, doesn't even realize the seriousness of the Khalistani threat that once prevailed on Indian soil, and it took an Indian Prime Minister's assassination to address it. It was unfortunate, but she was our Prime Minister. The Congress of today doesn't understand it. Even Rahul Gandhi's poetry, which includes Mr. Mishra here, doesn't understand it. However, we have to understand that the Khalistanis operating out of Canada, they work with a single objective. They work with the objective of getting some sort of a separatist movement going in Punjab, the teaser of which we saw with Amritpal Singh Sandhu a few years ago. There are Congress MPs who have spoken up for Amritpal in the parliament as well. I remember Charanjit Singh Channi spoke up for him. These Khalistani extremists in Canada, they have the conviction of an almond. A kindergarten kid chasing a horizon or a flying aeroplane has more conviction than these Khalistani extremists in Canada. But they need to be nipped in the bud. If they become an Indian problem, the Indian government will have to do what it sees best. But tomorrow, yes, Vivek, I wish you were a Canadian citizen. Shut up now.
You know,
one minute. Let's not forget our courtesies, even if it is with the communists. Come on, let's not call each other names and unparliamentary language. No, Vivek, on this, I do not want anybody on my panel to be insulted. So please, let's go on with the debate. Civilized debate.
Navika, when Canada calls out the Khalistanis, they're not doing India a favor. They're doing themselves a favor.
Absolutely.
These are Canadian citizens. They're going to be a Canadian headache. They're going to be a Canadian law and order headache. Every ABC gang was in Canada. So Canada is not doing India any favor. It's only doing itself a favor, which it was avoiding because Justin Trudeau wanted to play the politics of appeasement, just like the politics of appeasement played by the Congress. Again, Vivek Srivastava, keep quiet. Why are you speaking in between?
This is
something troubling you down there.
Tushar bhai, this is just paperwork.
No, but when the CSIS is talking about the Khalistani dress from their soil, you are in denial mode.
हम तिल का पहाड़ बना रहे हैं. They categorically said few, and at the same time they rejected our diplomacy.
Last year they didn't even admit to a few. This year they are admitting to a few. Why don't they get it?
Don't normalize Khalistan. They are serious threat to India.
Ashwini ji, I request you and Vivek, since you have asked me to respond, I will take just 30 seconds and I promise I won't interrupt you, just hear me out for 30
seconds. And your 30 seconds begin now.
Now Vivek is outraged that Munir has got invited. Vivek is outraged. Suniye. Vivek is outraged that Munir got invited at White House. The same Vivek's party protested against IWT being suspended. Vivek. Secondly, now Vivek is outraged that Munir has got invited. Sir, please, 1 second. Munir has been invited to White House. It's a failure of Indian policy. At the time of 1971, not only did America not call out the atrocities on East Pakistan, not only did they supply the weapons to Pakistan through Jordan, not only did they send USS Enterprise, the nuclear technology, to support Pakistan, and at that time, whatever they have done, would you say it's failure of Indira policy? Then why you call her Iron Lady? What America does is America's interest.
Yes, but unlike Modi,
Vivek, explode nahi hona, please. I request you, my 30 seconds are left.
And threatened
10 seconds are left.
Whereas Modi was
to respond. 30 seconds are over. We expect that from our Prime Minister as well.
10 seconds more.
Okay, courage to respond. Where is Modi ji's courage?
Please. And last point of Vivek. This is the biggest beauty that he has said. He said that Adani के खातिर साइप्रस वाली पॉलिसी हो रही है. 1974 और 62 में कौन सा अडानी था जब नेहरू जी ने आर्क बिशप को यहाँ पे इनवाइट किया था? आर्क बिशप के नाम पर रोड रखा है हमने भाई. Because we have supported Cyprus's independence from colonial powers, we have supported them from invasion by Turkey. You have forgotten everything.
The question people are asking, Kelly Robertson,
money heaven for corruption.
Kelly Robertson asking this question.
Corruption.
Shouldn't Canada extradite 26 criminals on India's watch list? Karthik asking the question, aren't Khalistan groups fundamentally flawed as they target Bharat, not Pakistan? These are questions people are asking. But here we are busy doing our internal point scoring. The question also was asked on social media in a survey. Is the CSI report a victory for Modi's foreign policy? Yes, says 79% of the people. No, say 15%. Can't say 6%. 79% of the people believe that this is a victory for the Modi diplomacy. But, Ashwini ji, do you believe? Log keh rahe?
I think we are using 1000x zoom lens to see how that what is
so you're saying
by,
people do not know what they are voting for. All the intellectual repository of decision making is only with the Congress party. Well, that's what the Congress, the opposition wants to say, and viewers, you be the judge. Will they ever say anything even when India achieves a breakthrough? And is that right opposition policy? I don't know. I leave it to you to judge. Thank you very much to all my panelists joining me on debate number